question I ask myself a lot is, what is wealth? What is wealth really? How would I define wealth for myself? Is it just money? Is it just my health? Is it just the things that I can do? What is actually wealth? And I would say it's a combination of these things. So, a common trite saying that health is wealth, it's really true. If you have your health, you're pretty wealthy. And if you travel around the world, you will quickly realize that this is true. Or if you have anybody who's sick in your family, or if you've experienced serious illness yourself, you know that nothing replaces health. You can be as rich as the richest man in the world, but if you don't have your health, you can't enjoy it. And in the best case, you can't enjoy it. Really, you're probably suffering, but you can't enjoy it. So what's the point of having money if you don't have health? So from that perspective, first and foremost in your life, if you're going to start building wealth for yourself, the first thing you would do is focus on your own health. And if you look at how people behave in the West, almost nobody, as a percentage, because plenty of people who are staying healthy are trying to, as a percentage, most people are not paying attention to their health. Look at the CDC statistics for people who are overweight. It's almost 80% of Americans are either overweight or obese. And this says very clearly that Americans are not focused on their health. They're not paying attention. So a lot of people have the idea that wealthy people are those who have lots of money. But from my point of view, the people who are wealthiest are the people who have the highest capability, and specifically the highest capabilities to serve and provide value to the people around them. Okay, and part of that is all built and founded on your personal health. So first, you've got to be healthy, strong and healthy, and then second, you need to have a good set of life skills that you can use in the service of others, and to maintain security and order and provide for the people around you in your life. So as you go forward in life and you start to get serious about building wealth for yourself, I would suggest you consider viewing it that way, that at the nucleus of wealth is your health, and that around that nucleus is a shell of life skills and raw capability, and then around that would be resources like money or whatever assets you might hold. Versus the other way, a lot of people view it the other way. Like at their core, they look at how much money somebody has and or how much real estate they have in their portfolio or something like that as the baseline measure, because it's objectively measurable. Okay, and health is less objectively measurable. Now you can look at somebody and just get a general idea of their health, but there aren't any real hard, easily measurable objective numbers that indicate health that you can compare with other people. So people tend to use money to base, credibility and just general social status comparisons is largely based on material wealth. But true wealth is inverse from that. True wealth is your health and your capabilities. So when I look at people and I try to evaluate, how wealthy this person is, or I'm going to make a decision on how much respect I'm going to operate with around somebody, I look at it through that lens. Are they healthy? Are they taking care of themselves? Have they spent time building themselves up to be capable in order to be able to support and provide for me and the people that I care for and support? Are they going to make a good teammate? Are they a good asset for the community? And those things are all based on health and raw development, personal development. And then the money stuff is secondary, And a lot of people don't see it that way. I think it's a big mistake. So I hope that you get some ideas or start thinking about this. I would encourage every young man, especially a young man who's trying to forge himself into being something more, would start taking consideration life from that perspective. And it's reflected in everything that you do. So I often encourage men to get into combat sports And one of the first things that happens when men start combat sports, especially without guidance, they just jump into it. You show up at a gym and start trying to roll and train or spar or whatever. They use too much strength and they don't really think about the safety of their partner and so on. And that's a mistake. That's a big mistake because you're not looking after your own health. And if you're not looking after your own health and you're not looking after the health of the people around you, that makes you a liability. That's the opposite of wealth. You being a liability is the opposite of bringing wealth into your situation. So once you start to view life that way, with this eye on health and eye on raw capability as a human, things start to change in your life as far as the way that you operate and the way that you get material resources and acquire money, and the way that you use it, and the way that you live day to day, and the way that you eat day to day. And all of these things will start to be reflected in the way that you look, in your appearance, your general appearance. And then other people will start taking note. So even though your net worth may not be, $1 billion or whatever at the moment, at the very least, when you show yourself, your physical appearance is one of general well-being and fitness, it shows a certain level of discipline to the people around you that you just can't fake. You can't buy your way into fitness. You can't just wear some magic clothes that fool everybody into thinking that you're in shape. And the same is true for a lot of skills. Like when you learn how to handle yourself against other men, it changes the way that you look. And other men can see the look in your eye and the way that you carry yourself, that you have that skill set and that you are someone to be respected. And that is when you focus on yourself and your raw capability as a human, that type of thing where other humans look at you differently starts happening more and more. And that's my definition of wealth. So when I encounter new people, and I'm trying to figure out, I'm sizing them up and trying to figure out how they're going to fit into my life, or if I'm going to eject them from my life as soon as I can, I'm looking at those things. How fit are they? How well are they eating? How well are they taking care of their clothes and their body in general? And then as I speak with them and observe them in action, I form a general picture of their overall capabilities, and that's what I use to base my evaluation of other people on. And I do the same with myself. When I see myself in the mirror, when I look at my life and I consider what I can do objectively and what I can't do objectively, what I'm not good at objectively, I have a general idea about who I am as a man. Now, another part of this that is also health and wealth, in my opinion, is the nature of your personal relationships. So do you have children? What is your relationship with your children? What is your relationship with your wife or your ex-wives if you've got broken relationships in your past? What is your relationship with your parents, your closest friends? How do you treat people who serve you? Like if you go to a restaurant, how do you handle yourself around them, people that are coming and waiting on you and stuff? I look at all those things as types of wealth as well. Most people, especially in the West, from the last 2 or 3 generations, they have difficulties handling themselves with any level of honor or dignity or self-respect. I can't tell you how many times I've dealt with people who are my age or younger, who they just don't show up, or they show up late to meetings or to events, and I call those people flaky. So they flake out on many levels. They'll show up unprepared to things. If they show up at all, they show up late. They don't do a good job on the things that they try to do. The companies I've worked at, I've watched team members and teammates, my peers at jobs, just underperform and blame everybody else, and just they basically turn themselves into parasites. And some of this is being enabled by PC culture and things like HR in companies. A lot of HR people, they operate under the guise of trying to limit liability for a company by foisting like this PC culture on everybody. And really it's about personal power for them. It's about them exercising some level of power and control over everybody around them It's about ego, and it has nothing to do with the company or the health of the company. And everybody knows at some level that HR people are mostly useless, especially at bigger companies. You know, you don't have a personal relationship with these people. You're just a number, and they're going to make flip judgments on you very suddenly. So I look at all those things. I look at all these things with how people operate in regards to the people around them and their raw capability and their raw health, and just their general demeanor and modus operandi, how they handle themselves. That's my definition of wealth. And money is completely secondary, because money is, it's an ethereal thing. It's ethereal in many ways. Money doesn't really have value. In the West, every currency is fiat currency. It's an imaginary deal. It's just an imaginary agreement that could break at any time. And it's always losing value because we're always printing more of it. That's like the universal commonality with fiat currencies. It's always devaluing. So in my mind, money means nothing. It's what you can do and who you are and how you take care of yourself and how you take care of the people around you that means something. That is wealth.